Hi, my name is Imran Haque, and welcome to another episode of The Voice of a Leader, the series where I interview high-achieving leaders and try and find out how they got to where they are. Currently, there are around 9 million homes in Australia. However, due to the recent increasing house prices, many people are renting rather than buying. Nowadays, the dream of owning a house seems a distant prospect for many young people and those from lower socioeconomic backgrounds. This week, I caught up with Sadhana Smiles, who's the current CEO of a real estate firm called Harcourts, Victoria. Sadhana, welcome to The Voice of a Leader.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
No, that's okay. So you're born in Fiji to Fijian Indian parents?
Yes, born in Fiji to Fiji Indian parents. My grandparents were both from India, or both sets were from India.
I actually have a lot of Fijian Indian friends. How many Indians actually live in Fiji?
Look, the population is just under 1 million.
A million? Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's about 900,000, I think it is. So, probably
wow.
48% would be Indian.
48%? Oh, wow. I was going to say, I'm from Bangladesh and they're just everywhere.
Indians are. We breed like rabbits, so we are everywhere.
What's any
We
further
can
comments?
say that because we're Indian. We can say that.
Oh, good. So in 1982, you came to Melbourne.
Yes.
And then at a very young age, 19, you got married to a white boy.
Yeah, I was 16 when I came here. I went to school and I met a guy when we were, going to college and realised that my visa was running out. I needed to get married to stay here.
Smart move.
In those days, it was a bit easier to do than it is today. And so we went through all the hoops and I got the stamp on the passport and we were married for 24 years and I've got two kids,
Excellent.
22 and 17. Yeah.
I was going to say, I want to know, what was your parents' reaction when you introduced them to this white
Oh,
person?
it was horrendous. Good Indian girl marrying a white boy, the typical reaction.
Yeah.
My mum wanted to kill herself. My brother didn't talk to him, and my father tried to, create, conversations between all of us to get the right outcome. But look, it all worked out in the end.
Oh,
we all came to our senses, and it all worked out in the end. I think they
good.
knew that I wasn't going to not get married.
Yeah, excellent. Because I think following that, you had three traditional.
Had the Indian wedding, the legal wedding, the Indian wedding, and the Anglican wedding. So we, did everything, pleased everybody.
Good.
It's the right thing to do when you cross over cultures. It is the right thing to do.
So the one in Fiji is the one with the small crowd, yeah? 2,000 people?
Yeah. My father crazily invited 2,000 people. I know.
So he knows 2,000 people?
No, he doesn't know 2,000 people. But it's the Indian thing, you not only invite the parents, but the extended family as well. So all the uncles and aunties, and most of the time people would say no, but because it was the first wedding people could remember with a Indian girl marrying a white guy, everyone came to have a look at him.
Right.
He was the centre of attention, not me on that day. So it was a bit of fun. You look back on it now and you think, wow, we actually did that. So
He would have
a
been
good story.
22
and 19, and so it was a pretty amazing experience for both of us.
It would have been big for him. So you're currently the CEO of Harcourts, Victoria, and for 5 years?
This is going into my 5th year.
Excellent, very good.
Yeah.
And your father was actually an accountant, is that right?
Yeah, well, our partner, which was with Coopers and Lybrand, now PricewaterhouseCoopers. My brother's a partner there now.
Oh, wow.
So he's followed in the tradition. I broke the rules and
went
into real estate.
I was going to say, it's good, not a stereotypical Indian.
No.
I was like, what, she's Indian?
No,
I'm
not a doctor, lawyer, or accountant. I'm a real estate agent. There's still money to be made in real estate,
That's true, actually. No, very good. I was actually going on from there. What steered you towards the real estate industry?
Look, I fell into it. It was, I was looking for a job. I was young. I was in my 20s. I got offered a job as a receptionist in a real estate firm in Hawthorn.
Sure.
I made a really bad receptionist, but fell in love with the industry and just kind of worked my way through different brands, different areas of the industry, and found myself, in middle management, and then worked my way up to a leadership level.
What's some of the key things that you really love about real estate?
The industry?
Yeah, industry.
Look, the people, there's some huge personalities within this industry. It's an industry that underpins the Australian economy. So you are working with people around, the buying and selling real estate is one of the key decisions we make in any life decisions that we do. Marriage, having babies, deaths, and real estate is up there.
Yeah, sure.
So you're involved in that perspective. You're involved from an economic perspective. So it covers the length and breadth of a lot of things that I find interesting and intriguing. And it has a huge impact. The economy changes worldwide. The economy changes locally. Interest rates go up and down. The market fluctuations. All of those things impact our business. And so it's unique in that way that we have a lot of external influences around it, and we have some great personalities that work within the brand as well. Yeah.
So you currently have 7 employees working under you?
Within Harcourts, the corporate team here, we've got 7 in the team. Yeah.
Good. So in 2013, you won the Telstra
I was the Victorian
Businesswoman
Telstra Businesswoman of the Year. Yeah.
That would have been quite a bigger moment in your life.
It was. It was probably one of the biggest moments in my life. You think about things that you aspire to or you want to do. It was something that was on my... I'm a person who writes down all the goals and crazily puts them on my shower wall and stuff. So that was on my shower wall for, a number of years, and I didn't think that I was ready to go into the awards, but somebody else nominated me, and I don't know who it was. So,
You still don't know
thank you. I still don't know who it is to this day. And so I entered it and had no... didn't think that I was ever going to win. Who's going to win an award? Indian woman working in real estate. I mean, seriously, I just didn't think that would happen. And then, when they called out my name, and I'll never forget the experience. I turned around because I wanted to soak in the moment. And I turned around and I saw my kids' faces who'd followed me up to the stage, and the entire room was standing up. And and I think, as parents, we spend a lot of our lives being proud of what our children do. And they're very small moments in your life where you can see your kids being proud of you. And it was just that moment in my life. And it's something that you capture in a shutter, and you keep that photo in your mind forever. And it was very, very special for that reason more than anything else.
Excellent. You're doing a lot of motivational interviews, like speeches now.
Yeah, I do a lot of sort of leadership, talking to groups of women and men on career aspirations. And, look, I never went to uni. I don't have a university degree.
Really?
So I've achieved everything I've done.
What kind of Indian are you?
Yeah, I know, right? I'm totally broke the mould. I'm not an accountant, lawyer or doctor, and I don't have a university degree.
Oh, wow.
Maybe I'm not Indian, but... So you're right. I totally broke the mold, but I've sort of, street smart enough to work my way to the position I am. And I've had some really good mentors around me that I've learnt from, business people that I've learnt from. So I've been lucky.
Good.
Or you make you unlucky, as they say.
Sure. So apart from work, you also founded Links Fiji.
Yes.
That's a not-for-profit organisation.
Yeah.
What type of work do you do?
So in 2000, I started that not-for-profit, and our goal is to help people in rural sectors of Fiji. It's really hard when you live 4 hours away from a main town and you don't have a huge income or any income at all to actually get a bus fare to go and get yourself tested, particularly women around Pap smears and cervical cancer is one of the biggest killers in Fiji. And so I made a decision after I met a beautiful young lady who was one of my patients who unfortunately died from it and left 7 children orphaned. Through her story, I realised there was a huge need in Fiji for us to be putting our efforts into that. So we now go into a lot of rural areas in Fiji, into villages, and we go to those villages every 2 years, and we do pap smears on a regular basis. And, we probably support on a regular basis over 2,000 women now.
Excellent.
And we're starting to break into new islands and things. And look, we're very small, we're privately funded, but our footprint is huge. And for me, I haven't had a woman die on me from cervical cancer because we've prevented it, or we've treated them in time, or we've made them aware of what they need to do and why health is so important. And I think we're all here to make the planet a better place than what we found it, and that's my contribution to doing that.
Excellent. Now, just my last question. So as you're aware, there's not many female executives in the real estate industry. What's some words of advice you'd give to, say, a girl out there who's keen to become a CEO such as yourself?
Well, if I can do it, anybody can. That's my first piece of advice. And it's such a broad question. There's so many elements of the answer. But I think at the end of the day, it's about building that life that you want for yourself, and particularly for women. Yes, we are working at a time where gender equality and diversity isn't where we want it to be. And it probably won't be in the lifetime of my lifetime and those women coming behind me probably for the next 100 years or so. And I think we've got to accept that, but that doesn't mean we stop the good fight.
Sure.
And we don't let it stop us from achieving what we want to achieve either. So, you know, for me, it's like, be really clear on what you want. Be really clear on how you need to get there. Is it skill sets? Is it education? Is it mentors? Is it buddies? Is it sponsors in your workplace? You know, what is it that's going to get you to the position you need to get to? We all talk about letting go of the guilt, and there are certain elements of guilt, particularly for women, that you can never let go of. But you either learn to let go of them, or you learn to deal with them in a much better way. You know, build a brand for yourself. How do you become the expert in your field, where you will become the go-to person? Because people you work with, the industry that you work with, people you surround yourself with, know that you are the expert in that field. And I think at the end of the day, work for companies, well, I believe in this, work for companies that are going to support you and are going to understand what your goals are, what your dreams are, what you want to achieve, and they're going to actually help you achieve it. So their investment in you is just as big as your investment in them. It's a two-way street. And if you're working for businesses that don't respect you, don't respect women, have no career path for you, you know, there's lots of businesses that do.
Sure.
Go out and find one that will. So, you know, and there's a huge number of other elements, but it's a bit like that racehorse that goes down the straight and it knows it's going to win. But to win that race, you've done a whole lot of training in the background. You've done a whole lot of investment in the background in terms of getting to that point, whether it's an athlete, whether whatever it is. So invest in yourself and prepare yourself for the best possible outcome. By doing a whole range of things. It's not the one thing that's going to get you there. It's going to be a whole range of things that you do really, really well that will accumulate in your success.
Very good. You know, I'm privileged to hear all this from you. Thank you. Look, thank you very much for
You're very welcome.
doing the interview today. I'm going to try and encourage all my Fiji and Indian women friends to go into the real estate industry.
But you know, it's not just that. If I can sort of add to it, because I know we're coming to the end of this interview, you know, it's interesting. I've been asked to speak to a lot of migrant groups, and for me, you know, particularly in Australia, gender equality isn't just about male and female ratios and pay gaps, etc.
Sure.
It's about diverse gender equality. You know, our communities reflect so many coloured faces, yet our businesses don't reflect the same coloured faces. And I think, you know, a couple of years ago, I started to go down this path where, for me, every time I stand up and speak in a room, I look for the coloured faces. It doesn't matter whether you're Asian or Chinese, whatever it is, but, you know, I look for the coloured faces, and I get really excited when I see a room full of women who are on that ladder. And I think, you know, for migrants in particular, the challenge that we have in the industries that we work in to get to senior management, to get to leadership roles, to get to CEO roles is a lot harder.
Sure.
Whether you know, we like it or not, it is a lot harder. So how do we support ourselves? Because, you know, when you choose to become a migrant to this country, I think people forget that you walk away from everything that was normal for you, everything that was important to you, you know, family members, friends, food, you know, things that were familiar to you, and you choose to make a life somewhere else, and that's a choice you make. That doesn't make the hardships that you go through, the loss that you go through, the cultural differences that you experience any less painful. Or, you know, so for me, I always believe in looking at people like us who are migrants and say, how do you get the best of both cultures and create who you are today? You don't have to let go of the Indian side of you or the Bangladeshi side of you or whatever it is, and you don't have to become 100% Australian. Somewhere in the middle is that beautiful mix of 50-50 where you take the best of both cultures, the best of both worlds, and you make it one. And I think when you can do that, it overcomes any glass ceiling anybody could ever put in front of you.
You know what? I'm going to start writing down all these quotes you're saying. These are brilliant, are very, very good points. All very relevant and all correct. You're right. If you get the best of both worlds, you'll have something phenomenal. Yeah. Very good. Yeah. Look, I won't take any more of your time. Thank you again, Watts, for joining.
My pleasure. Thank you for asking me.
No problem. Thank you for watching another episode of The Voice of a Leader. What an incredible interview. You could just sense, so different from where I was sitting, all the passion and drive that Sadhana had. She had many key points that she was recommending for females out there or anyone who would like to be a CEO. you need to have a lot of passion, and you need to have a lot of drive. Two things that she was clearly highlighting. Once again, thank you for watching another episode. Remember, if you or someone you know is a high-achieving leader and would like to have an interview with me, please visit my website, answer the 3 questions, and send an email to thevoiceoverleader@gmail.com. Also, remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page so you're kept up to date with this series. Thank you for watching. Goodbye for now.